Hi friends, it's Allison here, dropping in to share with you some inspiration for Scrapbook Nerd. Today I'm creating just a simple 12 by 12 scrapbook layout that has a little bit of mixed media in the background. I'm just using the packaging technique using re-inkers that I have in my stash. The beautiful thing about creating this type of mixed media in your background is you can use pretty well anything in your stash that you already have. If you have distressed oxides, that would work. If you have acrylic paint, you can water it down or dilute it with water, and that would work. Mists would work. There's a wide variety of things out there that would work to create this type of mixed media background. And it's super simple. All you need is a little bit of plastic packaging. I like to trim mine down instead of using a big 12 by 12 sheet, just so it's easier to manage. And then when you're done with it, you can wipe it off with a baby wipe or throw it out if you're not going to do it again. And there's really no right or wrong way to doing it either. Fill it up, slap it down on your paper, and see what happens. Every time it will be different. So I created two rows, basically, one at the top of the page and one closer to the bottom of the page. Each row is going to have a die cut notebook paper that's going to be adhered to each place. They're going to act like a shelf for everything to rest on. I also used a sticker from Photoplay, Tulla and Norbert. I thought the colors in this sticker border complemented my layout really well, especially the floral paper that I used from Carta Bella Fall Market for the title. And I wanted to draw a little bit more attention to that top shelf just because that was going to be the main part of the layout, meaning my title would be there and then the journaling is going to go just beneath that. So I'm working on the second shelf right now. I just put the gray die cut at the bottom. I'm going to adhere using some liquid glue this die cut that says love. It's just a really pretty script font. That's going to be glued over top of the title. You can see me putting it on there right now. There are going to be some other little embellishments put in both bars as well. There's going to be brackets, which I'm working on right now. I'm just adhering those with some foam squares. The title was also adhered with foam squares, and that just gives it a little bit of height and dimension. I really like the idea of using the pattern paper from Carta Bella to create my title. Originally, I was going to use just plain pattern paper, and then I thought that I wanted to have a title that would make a statement and that would really pop. And of the paper in this collection by Carta Bella Fall Market, this floral one is my absolute favorite. I just love it, and so it was a no-brainer for me to use that paper to create the title, and it really does create the statement that I was looking for. In addition to the brackets, I cut the brackets from a combination of blue cardstock and like a almost a coral pink kind of color, and it coordinates really well with that pattern paper as well. All the cardstock in today's layout is actually from my stash. They're just scraps. I don't think I used any new sheets of cardstock at all in this layout. I also figured I would pull out the ephemera pack from the Fall Market collection. I knew that not a lot of it would coordinate with this layout just because it's a summer layout and not a fall layout. But I knew that the circle ephemera with the flower pot in it would look super cute. And then I found the little apple and I thought that would work for a horse theme as well, since apples are a bit of a treat for horses. The story behind this layout is friends of ours have an acreage. They plan to eventually build their house on the acreage, but right now they've got horses out there, and we like to go out there and camp, quote unquote, for the weekend. They're like 5 minutes from town and it's not very far to go at all. And my girls love the horses. So anytime we go out there, they are riding. And this was, I think, one of the first times that my daughter had been on a horse, a full-sized horse anyways. And it was at this point that she discovered she is passionate about horses and loves them. So I needed to document this particular point in time. I'm going to add some brackets around the photo of my daughter as well. I think I was just doing that right now. I'm adding a couple of arrows that I cut in from cardstock as well, but in a gradient ombre sort of color, and went white, blue, and then a really dark gray. That's to denote where my journaling is going to go. I'm going to handwrite my journaling on scrap white cardstock and then trim it down into strips and then place them next to the arrows down the page towards the photo. But before I get to that, I wanted to add a subtitle to my layout as well. I could have cut it with my Cricut and I could have used alphas, but I wanted to stamp. So I pulled out a stamp from my stash and stamped in absolutely. Absolutely in is what the subtitle will be, and then the rest of the title was love. So I'm just stamping that out right now. I'll trim that down as well so it becomes a little strip. I'm just using standard black ink to do that. I'll adhere the subtitle and the little asterisk with some more foam squares, just so it's the same height as the rest of the title. And then once I've got that done, I'll move on to my journaling. And with that, this layout is pretty well done. Like, it was super simple. It came together really quickly and I absolutely love it. I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, I did treat my cardstock with gesso before I did the watercoloring. I use it because it prepares the paper for any kind of mixed media that I want to do, and it also prevents any kind of fluid or liquid from soaking through the paper. And if you've worked it with ink at all, you know that it will soak very quickly and readily through paper. So gesso is a nice tool to have in your stash to create a barrier on your paper so that that doesn't happen. Also, when you use gesso, it doesn't matter if it's white or clear, but if you use gesso, the color of whatever inks you're using stays true as well. It doesn't dull when it soaks, if it's going to soak through the paper. Gesso helps it retain that color and its intensity as well, which is another bonus. I personally use white gesso. That's just what I have in my stash. I have no preference between white or clear. I'll just pick up whatever I happen to pick up. But it's nice to have. I just apply it with a brush. Actually, applying it with a brush is really nice too because it keeps the application really thin. It's still effective, but the drying time is super quick when you apply it with a brush. And then after I've applied it with the brush, I go to a sink, rinse it out really well, and then it's ready to go for the next time. I'm just adding a few other quick little highlights to this layout. I'm using a little roller stamp that I got. It is from Studio Calico. It just also happened to be in my stash. The little piece of paper that you saw me put on top of the layout is actually my cheat sheet. And I have that because I have no legend to tell me what phrases are on that stamp set. So I stamped them out each time so that I knew what phrases were on it. And I can't remember what phrase I used, but you'll see it in the close-ups, which are coming up here in just a moment. If you're interested in any of the products that I use today, especially products from the Scrapbook Nerd store, I will make sure to leave the link to the shop down below, and definitely encourage you to check out Photoplay and Carta Bella or Echo Park if they are up your alley. New product is being added, And I do believe that there are some pre-orders up as well, so you'll definitely want to check those out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this layout inspired you, and I will be back again soon with more creative inspiration from you. Have a fantastic week and weekend. I guess we're still a ways out from the weekend, but have a great week, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.